Hey there, folks. Welcome back to our channel. I greeted with a grin, my voice infused with a mix of excitement and a hint of nervousness. Today, we're diving into the murky depths of the internet once again, bringing you another round of spine-tingling, true, scary stories. Let's continue. Echoes of the Abyss. I never thought I'd find myself delving into the darkest corners of the internet, but desperation has a way of driving us beyond our limits. It all started innocently enough, with a simple curiosity about the infamous dark web. Little did I know, that decision would plunge me into a nightmare from which I may never escape. It began on a stormy night, the rain drumming against my window like the fingers of a restless ghost. With nothing but the soft glow of my laptop screen illuminating the room, I navigated through layers of anonymity, drawn by the allure of forbidden knowledge and illicit activities. As I descended deeper into the labyrinthine depths of the dark web, the air seemed to grow heavier, laden with the weight of unseen malevolence. Each click of the mouse felt like a step further into the abyss, my heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and dread. I stumbled upon a forum shrouded in secrecy, its members cloaked in anonymity, their usernames like cryptic sigils in a forgotten language. Threads whispered of unspeakable horrors, of things that lurked in the shadows beyond the reach of law and morality. But it was a single thread that caught my eye. Its title, a chilling promise of forbidden knowledge, The Echoes of the Abyss. Intrigued, I clicked on it, my cursor hovering over the link like a hesitant traveler at the threshold of a haunted house. The thread was filled with cryptic messages and encrypted files, each one a potential gateway to madness. But one file stood out among the rest, its name pulsating with an otherworldly energy. Echoes X. Without thinking, I downloaded the file, my hands trembling as I watched the progress bar inch its way across the screen. When it was finally complete, I hesitated for a moment, my mind racing with doubts and fears. But curiosity got the better of me, and with a trembling hand, I double-clicked on the icon. The screen went black for a moment, and then words began to appear, glowing like embers in the darkness. Welcome to the Abyss. I felt a chill run down my spine as the words burned themselves into my retinas. And then, without warning, the screen was filled with a swirling vortex of darkness, like a whirlpool pulling me into its depths. I tried to scream, but no sound escaped my lips as I was consumed by the void. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself in a place that defied description. It was a realm of shadows and whispers, where the laws of physics and reason held no sway. I stumbled through the darkness, my heart pounding with a primal fear that seemed to echo off the walls of the abyss. And then, just when I thought I couldn't bear it any longer, I saw it. A figure emerged from the shadows, its form shifting and twisting like smoke in the wind. Its eyes were pools of darkness, and its voice was like the sound of distant thunder. Welcome, traveler, it said, its voice sending shivers down my spine. You have entered the realm of the echoes, where nightmares become reality, and reality becomes a nightmare. I tried to run, but my legs were like lead, rooted to the spot by an unseen force. The figure stepped closer, its presence overwhelming me like a suffocating blanket. "You have trespassed into our domain," it said, its voice dripping with malice. "And now you must pay the price." I begged for mercy, but the figure only laughed, a sound that sent icy tendrils creeping up my spine. And then, with a gesture of its hand, it unleashed a torrent of horrors upon me. I saw things that no human eyes should ever behold, heard sounds that no human ears should ever hear. I screamed until my throat was raw, until my voice was lost in the cacophony of madness that surrounded me. And then, just when I thought I could take no more, the darkness closed in around me, swallowing me whole. I woke up in my room, drenched in sweat, my heart pounding like a drum in my chest. It took me a moment to realize that it had all been a dream, a nightmare born from the depths of my own imagination. But as I lay there in the darkness, trembling and alone, I couldn't shake the feeling that somewhere out there, in the darkest corners of the internet, the echoes of the abyss were waiting for their next victim. And I knew, deep down, that it was only a matter of time before they came for me again. The second story, The Auction of Souls. I always considered myself a skeptic, scoffing at tales of the supernatural and dismissing urban legends as nothing more than fiction. That is, until I stumbled upon an auction unlike any other on the dark web. A twisted spectacle that shattered my beliefs and plunged me into a nightmare from which I may never awaken. It began innocuously enough, with a simple click on a link buried deep within the bowels of the internet. The page that greeted me was a stark contrast to the sleek designs of mainstream websites, its layout crude and its colors muted, like a forgotten relic from a bygone era. But it was the contents of the page that sent a chill down my spine. It was an auction site, but not the kind where you bid on antiques or collectibles. No, this was something far more sinister, a marketplace for souls. The listings were written in a language I couldn't understand, symbols and glyphs dancing across the screen like macabre hieroglyphics. But the images spoke volumes, grotesque portraits of twisted creatures and tortured souls, their eyes pleading for release from an eternity of suffering. I should have turned back then, closed the browser, and never looked back. But something drew me in, a morbid curiosity that gnawed at the edges of my sanity. I scrolled through the listings, each one more horrifying than the last. There were souls of murderers and madmen, their deeds etched into the very fabric of their being. There were souls of innocence, stolen away in moments of unspeakable cruelty. And there were souls of creatures that defied description, their forms twisting and contorting in ways that made my stomach churn. But it was one listing in particular that caught my eye. Its title, A Whispered Promise of Untold Power. The Soul of a God. Without thinking, I clicked on the listing, my heart pounding in my chest like a drumbeat of impending doom. The page loaded slowly, as if reluctant to reveal its secrets. And then, there it was, a swirling vortex of darkness, pulsating with an otherworldly energy. I felt a presence watching me from beyond the screen, a force that seemed to pierce through the very fabric of reality. "You seek power," a voice whispered, its words echoing in the depths of my mind. "But be warned, mortal, for the price of godhood is steep." I hesitated for only a moment before clicking the bid button, my hands trembling with a mixture of fear and anticipation. The screen flickered, and then a message appeared. "Bid accepted. Payment due upon receipt of soul." I should have felt a sense of triumph, of victory over the forces that had held me back for so long. But instead, all I felt was a gnawing sense of dread, a sinking realization that I had unleashed something beyond my control. Days passed, and I waited with bated breath for the arrival of my newfound power. But instead of godhood, all I received was a sense of unease, a feeling that something was terribly wrong. And then, one night, as I lay in bed, I heard it. A whispering voice, faint at first, but growing louder with each passing moment. I followed the sound, my heart pounding in my chest as I crept through the darkness of my apartment. And then, in the corner of my room, I saw it. A figure cloaked in shadows, its eyes glowing with an unholy light. It reached out to me, its hand like ice against my skin. "You have what you desired," it whispered, its voice a serpent's hiss. "But know this, mortal, power always comes with a price." I tried to scream, but no sound escaped my lips as the figure enveloped me in darkness, dragging me down into the abyss. And as I descended into madness, I realized the true horror of what I had unleashed upon the world. For in the end, it was not the souls of others that I had bought and sold, but my own. Third story: the shadow market. I thought I was prepared for anything the dark web could throw at me. I had navigated through illegal marketplaces, stumbled upon forums discussing the most depraved acts imaginable, but nothing could have prepared me for the horrors that awaited me in the depths of the shadow market. It was late at night when I found the link, buried within the labyrinth of encrypted websites and hidden servers. The page that greeted me was like something out of a nightmare, its design crude and its colors washed out, as if drained of life itself. But it was the products listed on the page that made my blood run cold. They weren't drugs or weapons, but something far more sinister: human body parts. I scrolled through the listings in disbelief, my mind struggling to comprehend the depths of depravity to which humanity had sunk. There were organs harvested from living donors, limbs severed from unwilling victims, and even entire bodies up for sale to the highest bidder. I should have turned back then, closed the browser, and never looked back. But something compelled me to keep scrolling, a morbid curiosity that whispered promises of forbidden knowledge and untold riches. And then I saw it, a listing unlike any other. The key to immortality. Without thinking, I clicked on the listing, my heart pounding in my chest like a drumbeat of impending doom. The page loaded slowly, as if reluctant to reveal its secrets. And then, there it was, a vial filled with a dark, viscous liquid that seemed to pulse with a life of its own. The description promised eternal life, but warned of the price that must be paid. I hesitated for only a moment before clicking the Buy Now button, my hands trembling with a mixture of fear and anticipation. The screen flickered, and then a message appeared. Transaction complete. Delivery in progress. I should have felt a sense of triumph, of victory over the forces of mortality that had haunted me for so long. But instead, all I felt was a gnawing sense of dread, a sinking realization that I had unleashed something beyond my control. Days passed, and I waited anxiously for the arrival of the vial that promised immortality. But instead of a package, all I received was a sense of unease, a feeling that something was terribly wrong. And then, one night, as I lay in bed, I heard it. A scratching sound, faint at first, but growing louder with each passing moment. I followed the sound, my heart pounding in my chest as I crept through the darkness of my apartment. And then, in the corner of my room, I saw it. A figure, shrouded in shadows, its eyes gleaming with an unholy light. It held out its hand, offering me the vial that I had bought at such a high price. You sought immortality, it whispered, its voice like the rustling of leaves in the wind. But know this, mortal, there are fates far worse than death. I tried to scream, but no sound escaped my lips as the figure enveloped me in darkness, dragging me down into the depths of the abyss. And as I descended into madness, I realized the true horror of what I had unleashed upon the world. For in the end, it was not immortality that I had bought, but an eternity of suffering in the shadows of the shadow market. As I descended into the darkness, consumed by the horrors of the shadow market, I couldn't help but wonder if anyone would ever uncover the truth of what had happened to me. Perhaps my story would serve as a warning to others, a cautionary tale of the dangers that lurked in the depths of the internet. But then again, who would believe such a fantastical tale? In the end, I was just another victim of the darkness, lost to the shadows forever. So, to whoever may be listening out there in the void, thanks for watching. See you in the next video, and if you enjoyed this chilling journey into the abyss, don't forget to subscribe for more tales of terror from the dark web. Until then, stay safe, and may you never wander too far into the shadows.